Welcome back to Tuesdays at 2, the 5-Minute Museum. My name is Elizabeth Peterson. I'm the director of the museum here at Oglethorpe University. I'm really excited about these programs that we've been doing. We have planned to do them just for the interim while the pandemic's happening, while we're closed, and we've decided we love them so much we're going to keep going because, y'all are into them, and I know Ariana Finer, if you are out there, send me a little hello because you are so loyal to these. But whether you're watching them live or you are logging in later, let us know that you're here. We really appreciate you. So today, what we're talking about, what's behind me, rather colorful, very exciting, is a Korean Thangka. Now, I have learned over the years about this piece, which originally, when it came to us, we believed that it was a possibly Tibetan Thangka. And both through our dear friend Bob Steen and his colleagues, and through several others, including a visitor to the museum a few years back who said he was a retired art historian who happened to be Korean himself. We learned that this is in fact a Korean Thangka, so not to be spelled in the traditional Tibetan sense of Thangka, but rather Thangka. Oh, I see my friend Stacia. Hello, thank you for logging in. But rather spelled as Taenghwa, Thangka. The Thangka that we have came to us through the good graces of Robert Ellis Jones and Sherry Tricot Jones, who gifted it to us several years ago. It is polychrome with a bit of gold leaf, which you can see on different sides here behind me, the areas of gold leaf. On a kind of a heavy papery fabric, not on silk, but on a heavy fabric. Thangkas originally came to the Korean peninsula through China during the Three Kingdoms period, which was about the year 220 to 280 of the Common Era. And this is not that old. They really started embracing doing Thangkas during that time, but the oldest ones that survive are probably about the 13th century CE. This one is roughly late 19th, early 20th century. And again, identified as Korean largely because of the costumes that are used. So let me just see if I can show you. Let's see. So over to this side, these small figures are children. And they're all wearing traditional hanbok, which is the word for traditional Korean clothing. So children here holding a beautiful lotus, and they're standing on, you can see that, they're actually standing on a giant lotus. And then, and this whole thing, by the way, let me just give you a sense of scale. This entire thing is about 4.5 feet by 3 feet. It's big. It's quite big. So I step back right next to it. I'm right next to it, but I'm not touching it. I'm not touching the art. I'm very silly, I know. But these are children holding a lotus. Next to them, behind them, is a bride. So she's in a traditional hanbok, again, a bride. In the far back area, you see several white figures. Might be a little hard to see on the video here, but they are dancers. So this is a wedding celebration that also includes the Buddha, the figure of the Buddha. Let's see, what else can I tell you? So both because of the style of costumes that they're wearing and the depiction of animals. So we've got the depiction down here of some interesting creatures that look like mythological beasts that are actually deer off to the side. And the way these were done was to create a stencil, and then the stencil would be painted in over. The strangest thing about this piece, though, may be not the history behind it and all of these other items, but the fact that Robert Ellis Jones and Sherry Tricot Jones found it while at an estate sale, and it was inside a coffee can. I kid you not. So imagine, if you will, and if you're watching this and you are, let's say Generation Z, and you don't even know what I'm talking about, you can get, coffee in cans, and it's like maybe this big. It was crushed inside a coffee can. So you never know the unlikely place that you might find some treasure. Hopefully you don't store things that way. I don't recommend it. And it does need a bit of conservation. It is stable. It is pretty. It's beautiful. It's a little worse for wear, but it's one of the very many items that we are interested in conserving over the time. So that is my time, and these 5 minutes go lickety-split. But I love doing them. So next week, same bat time, same bat channel, it'll be me, and we're going to be talking about the Yoshitoshi Geisha, which is in the exhibition Pax Tokugawa. So stay tuned for that. Also stay tuned for the fact that we will, by the fall, be opening to the public. We're so excited about this. We're excited to give you a date. We can't release it yet, but it's happening. So stay with us, folks. Thanks so much. Have a great week.